Welcome back to another episode here at the Dana Lee Project. Mandy and I have been talking about menopause, perimenopause, really, for the month of May, but it doesn't matter when you're watching this. We're happy to have you part of the conversation, regardless of when that is, because, menopause is inevitable. We're all going to go through some sort of change as women. And it does manifest differently in every woman. So that is something that Mandy and I have been talking about is, what your experience is and trying to make sense of that experience, what's going on emotionally for you, what's happening physically in your body. And this week we want to talk about our self-worth and if like menopause is starting to really chip away at your self-worth and your self-esteem, and just asking the question, does menopause define your self-worth? It's a really, really important topic.
Mhm.
So, because sometimes we can glide through life, going through whether that's your career, you feel really, powered by, and you identify, top of my game. I love my career. Maybe you're a mom. I do the mom thing. I've raised kids. And as your hormones are starting to change in depending on how it can be any time after 35 actually that they're showing, but in your 40s and your 50s typically, it also can align with some of those major life changes. It can be, whether you're married or with your partner, changes in your job or wanting to change your job, and also with maybe empty nest syndrome, like letting the kids out of
Yeah,
the house. And then
yeah.
what's left?
Hmm.
What's left? So it can feel like it's all crashing down and it can feel really hard. So, where do you want to start, Mandy? Because I feel
Oh
like,
gosh. Well, you know what the thing I think about when I think of menopause and like my brain and what I used to think and what I think now, um, I kind of thought menopause was um I thought that it meant that now I'm going to be old. I never really thought about, oh, I'm not going to be able to have kids again because I had already got that we're not going to have kids again thing a long time ago. I got over that. But now I'm old. Like, the kids are out of the house. They're not all out of the house, but most of them are old enough. They're out of the house. I have my Navy mom t-shirt on because it's Memorial Day weekend when this comes out. So I was patriotic. It's like, yes, now I'm old. I'm a mom who has adult children. And does this mean that now I'm old and grasping to my youth with like claws? And I I had that probably a couple years ago. It wasn't that long ago that my mindset changed to living my best life for as long as I possibly can, as opposed to visually looking my best. Like I don't of course I care about how I look and all of that, but I mean everyone cares. They want to be presentable and they want it's like I don't want to lie and say, it wouldn't be great to have the skin of a 20-year-old. But I don't I don't have that same thought process of like, okay, now I'm old and I'm no longer going to be this, and this. I have um I have changed my perspective to be, I'm going to be very strong. I'm going to have a great life from 40 to 100. And I'm not going to slow down because society says I will or society says I should. Um, my mother-in-law has stated out loud. And I was like, do you really seriously believe that? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay. She said that once you reach like age 30, you shouldn't have long hair anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many beautiful older women with long, beautiful silver hair. I mean, I hope I'm blessed with that someday. And she's like, cut it and curl it, you're done. You're not young anymore. And I'm like, that stinks that that's her mentality. And I'm like, what? Like, I hope to be as viable and beautiful and proud of my hair and proud of my everything forever. And yeah, it's funny because like when you think about my brain is going in so many directions, as you can tell, like the Golden Girls from the 80s, they were not as old as like Golden. Golden is 50 and 60. They were
I
50 and 60 years old. They were
know.
so young.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there's a definite shift, I think, in all of us women. We're just no, 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 no. But then there's also the other side of it where, okay, we're not going to give up and just be old ladies. But then on the other side, it's like there's also this, okay, now you need Botox, now you need fillers, now you need all this other stuff. There's that other side, which I also don't want to go down that rabbit hole of not being the cute little old lady someday because I plan on it. You know?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think, speaking about identity, if you have an identity wrapped up in your beauty,
Mhm.
and that has been very meaningful, and you've led with that for most of your life, that going through this time in your life, yes, it's like trying to like nobody's going to want me anymore. No one's going to pay attention to me anymore. It can feel awful for a woman to feel that way. And so sometimes the easiest way is to reach for the ways you can aesthetically change to try to chase the youth. And unfortunately, with a lot of the like Botox and fillers, and it's interesting how it actually makes you look older,
I
you
think
know.
so too. I think so too.
And I think we're all just doing the best that we can. Let me
Mhm.
just say
Yeah. No
that. And
judgment. No judgment
no,
to people who've done it because it's,
no, definitely
yeah,
not.
no.
Um, I just have recognized that it's not a route that I want to go because it is too reminiscent of when I was chasing and trying to lose weight to say, well, if I lose the weight, then I will love myself. If I get the Botox, the fillers, whatever, then I will think I'm pretty or think I'm acceptable. And but that the goalposts keep moving because then
Mm-hmm.
you have the one little procedure and then it's like, but you haven't changed like from the inside out and how you really view yourself or what your values are at the stage of your life, that then it's almost like I'm going to just totally dismiss that. Now my eyes are going to go to the next flaw in my body. And then
Mm-hmm.
my eyes are going to go to the next flaw in my body. So that's why, you and I have talked about in previous conversations, even as you shared about your own weight loss, that like it was, it's who you're becoming over the time of that journey. So then when you get there, it's like, oh, okay, like, yes, it's important, but not as important as I led with in the past. Now
Yes.
it's, yeah. So I think this similar with going through our changes, becoming older, going into our 40s and 50s, and I'm going to be 49 next month. So, and I'm not afraid to be 49. Like, I'm really proud of it. And but I've done a lot of inner work to really rise up to that occasion. To be like, wow, man, I get to celebrate. I made it to 49. Like, like past generations, past centuries, we didn't live to this age. That's why like menopause wasn't even a thing because women died way before they even went through any changes. This is like a modern day problem.
It is.
Aren't we lucky? Aren't we
Yes.
lucky? We get to go through the changes and even get to that point where, and technically, perimenopause is up to the point. Menopause is one instance. It's
Yeah.
literally the 365 days you haven't had your period, 366 day, boom, menopause, and then you're postmenopause. So we throw the word menopause around, kind of like catch all, like that
Yeah.
whole umbrella. But
Oh,
most of the
okay.
time, yeah, most of the time it's perimenopause that we're really talking about,
Uh-huh.
um, leading up to.
Hmm.
But it's like who you're allowing yourself to become at this stage of your life. And are you looking at, because I hear it all the time, oh, menopause sucks, this sucks. Well, if you say that, I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a call for an opportunity to take the utmost care of yourself like you've never done before in your life. And you're
Mm-hmm.
mad about that?
Mm-hmm.
You're mad because your body is saying, "Hey, pay attention to me and take care of me and I need rest and I need to recover and I want to be tended to and I want that's what I see happening. I see that happening like that's really what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's so funny. You're gonna laugh because I had a conversation with my dad, who is 64. What year is it? 65. My dad's 65. And he has this twitch in his tummy. He was complaining about a twitch in his tummy. He's like, I think it's a muscle. I don't know. It's just weird. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, and then he was telling me about something else that happened in his body. And he's like, this is when all of my peers don't pay attention to their body and they go downhill fast. He's like, I'm paying attention to my body. I think that this means I need to get outside and walk more. I need to make sure that I have breakfast because I haven't been eating breakfast. And I think like he was like thinking about it. And I'm like, Dad,
That's wisdom.
are you paying
That's
attention to
wisdom.
me? Yeah, like good job, Dad. Because yeah, he's retired. He doesn't have his same routine. He was always get up, eat breakfast, go to work, have lunch, and so now when you retire, you have to change you gotta go, your whole body's like, wait a second, I'm not eating breakfast at 7 in the morning every day anymore. And we talked about that. Same thing with menopause. At that time of our life, I'm not putting my kids on the bus in the morning. I'm not getting up as early anymore. My kids are doing their own thing. I don't have healthy snacks in the house anymore because I'm not concerned about that and I'm just throwing something together. Personally, I have a really hard time making dinner because it's like just me and Jim and like what am I gonna make? Because I'm so used to making all this food. And it is a difference. It makes you think like, maybe, that's a big part of it too. I'm not only going through perimenopause, but my life is changing because of these, and these. And it's something to think about.
Yeah, and are you going to be angry at at those changes and angry at your body or maybe this you're listening to this conversation with me and Mandy and you're starting to make a decision right here and now, which can happen like this. It
Mm-hmm.
can be that simple. Making a decision here and now that you will no longer see your body as an enemy like that
Mm-hmm.
and see what you're going through as working against you. It's not. If you've gone through most of your life putting yourself last, everyone else comes first. No, 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 it's fine. Oh, where do you want to eat? Oh, it's all good. Don't worry about me. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about me. I'll find something on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like that consistently has happened over the course of your life. There is something interesting about the brain and estrogen when your estrogen is dropping and you aren't releasing the eggs anymore. It literally like it made me think of like a correlation between imagine with every egg you have is also a fuck to give. And every
Uh-huh.
time you release an egg, you release a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And then once all your eggs are gone, you're just like, oh, sorry. All the fucks are in now. Like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
I have zero fucks to give.
$0 to give, no more eggs, no more fucks. So, but there's something to be said with how, and this goes back to like we were watching with the menopause revolution and some of the conversation, right, with Oprah and oftentimes like divorces end up happening around that time. Um, but I think it's also because you're being more honest about if you're ready to be honest about what you really want in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it has to dig at your self-worth and your identity around beauty and youthfulness, allow yourself to be inquisitive about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like question it. Just question it and say like, "Oh, well, I'm getting hot flashes and or I'm having a hard time sleeping at night. Well, how can I listen to my body? Maybe you want to journal about it. Maybe you have a good friend to talk to. Like, man, if my body could talk to me, what would it say? you know? So you actually start to embrace the this is going to happen. It's the inevitable, but the meaning you give it is up to you. Your attitude and thought process in approaching it is up to you. And your body will respond in different ways. And I think that could be all the difference between having a fucking miserable time and being like understanding it's almost a beautiful process of transformation into
Hmm.
another phase in your life.
Hmm.
It's all in
And
how
I
you want to
and
look
I
at it.
might be getting a little bit too deep here, but
Bring it.
do you love being miserable? Is that serving you? Ask yourself, because sometimes we love to be miserable. Sometimes we love to gossip about what happened to me and how I feel, and sit around in the coffee clutch and be like, "Oh my God, my back hurts, my butt hurts. I went to the doctor and I gained 10 pounds and blah blah blah." And it's like, "Damn, am I feeding that misery just one scoop at a time?" Or am I feeding my happiness? Like, go, I went to the doctor, I gained 10 pounds, and I talked to my doctor about what that means. And I think I'm gonna like do like eat more protein or something like that. Like, so, like, it was weird that I gained 10 pounds because I'm so active. And oh, you know what? I realized perimenopause affects the way I process food. So I'm going to change um what I eat, or because like I want to feel my best, not because 10
Yeah,
pounds is like gonna make or break your freaking life, but 10 pounds might mean that, oh, I'm not processing foods the way I used to because I am perimenopause, menopause, whatever. And like my dad said the other day, your body is talking to you and is saying, hey, maybe we need to do something different because you're growing.
100%. I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
too deep? I don't think so. I
No,
think
it's
people
not too
get
deep at
it.
all.
No, no, no. I think
No,
we all
it's
get it.
yep, it's right
Yeah.
on point. Certainly, if some of our ladies in our mentorship program are listening, it's certainly not too deep for them. They're ready for it. They're here
Hell
for it.
yeah.
They're like, give me all your like secrets and thought processes that I want to understand better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we don't like to hold that stuff back. It's true though. And because, so you see how, like, Mandy, what I love about you sharing that is you were just stating facts of like, okay, I went to the doctor. I had gained the 10 pounds. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Um, that means, that could mean a few different things. Let me see what my body needs. That's where, like, it's very observational and fact finding based instead of this sucks. I feel fat. I'm bloated all the time. I'm achy. Yeah, misery, like that is something you've got to ask yourself at some point because yeah, like, we talk about it quite a bit about being addicted to feeling bad. One
Hmm.
of the major addictions you have, you think it's sugar addiction. I think it's addicted to feeling bad. It's
Hmm.
like you don't even know how to operate feeling good. Can't handle it.
Mm.
Can't handle it.
Mm. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So this change in this season of your life, it's almost like it's gotten pushed to the brink of there's been other pokes and little nods and little ways to pay more attention to what you need and to step up and advocate for yourself and to set boundaries and put yourself first. But perhaps these changes in your life are like another level where your tolerance for accepting that and condoning that is just wearing thin and you're fed up.
Hmm.
So I'm really glad you're listening to this conversation with me and Mandy because so much of your experience through perimenopause can change with how you're looking at it. It's
Hmm.
how you're looking at it. One of my favorite quotes I have, it's on the homepage of realfit.tv by Wayne Dyer, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change.
Hmm.
And we're saying change the way you're looking at your body going through menopause. And when you change that approach, your body will respond differently.
Hmm. And my big change, and for me, the way I looked at things that was huge, and I talk about it a lot, is, and it can happen anyway, like, oh, I I cared about my children. I cared for my children. I treated like if my kid went to the doctor and they gained 10 pounds or something happened to them, I wasn't going to sit there and be like, oh, you need to lose weight. I would, it would be more of a concern. So now that we're like getting older and we don't have our children to care for or me, I should say me, because there are people who still care for their children. But for me, I have to care for myself. I want to change my perspective and say, okay, I love like, it's really hard to understand like how to love yourself because it's such a deep, it's so, we're just not told how to from day one. We're told we should change this, we should change that, we should change the other thing. So loving yourself is really difficult. And then, Dana will say, I'm just trying not to like loathe myself today. So the only way that I can really care for myself in a new way is to think about how I would treat my child. If my child came to me and said all of the things like, "Oh, I have this backache or that," and like, "How much sugar did you eat today?" Or, like, let's think about it from a real standpoint. Like, no, you shouldn't have ice cream at 9 o'clock at night because X, Y, and Z. Me, Mandy, I shouldn't have ice cream at 9 o'clock at night because it's an inflammatory. It'll hurt my back. It'll hurt my joints when I'm trying to go to sleep. It'll be a sugar spike, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll have to go to the bathroom because of the dairy. So like, it has nothing to do with doing what's the eating good foods or behaving or trying to stay young. It's like just doing what will feel good in the long, long, long run. So taking care of myself as if my body's speaking to me, and if I want to hear, if I'm not gonna listen to it, it's just gonna scream louder. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
it will. So that's another interesting thing because we'll have a lot of women come to us about the relationship with food because if you haven't healed your relationship with food and it's been torrid over the last few decades, and then you're getting to these issues with your health, then what can end up happening is you know you need to cut out the sugar because your joints are hurting. With inflammatory things, it could be dairy, it could be that you have an intolerance to eggs, it could be a bunch of things, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Someone says, "Oh, Dana, but I eat healthy." Well, a health food for one person is a almost like toxic for another person.
And
So
also a health food for you 10 years ago is not necessarily the same now. It's important
correct.
too. Hmm.
Correct. Good point.
Hmm.
So the challenge then, and bringing it back to like self-worth and, if menopause is really pushing up against and then chipping away at that, it's if you allow yourself to be worthy of cutting out the sugar, not for the dieting aspect of it, but because you want to feel good, that takes a process to come to an understanding with yourself. And that's the entire reason that Mandy and I have our mentorship program, because there's an uncovering and unveiling. So what you could be in this position now that you should cut back the sugar and you should not eat the ice cream, right? You have these rules because now, oh my God, I can't have carbs like I used to be able to have carbs. But it's basically just shifting to another diet restrictive mentality, and that will backfire. And then it's like you gotta self-sabotage. And I know I pay for it. My joints hurt. I wake up in the middle of the night. My stomach feels all bloated, yet I do the thing anyway. So if that is you, please come speak with Mandy one-to-one and talk about the mentorship because it's it it is a process and there's no shame in that. No, we have to be curious about it and understand it. So then therefore going through this transition in your life doesn't have, first of all, don't have to do it by yourself because that sucks,
Hmm.
right? Like, can we lean into each other a bit? Like women need community. It's just documented. We thrive with community, but you got to be in the right community where it's kind of like you said before, Mandy, with a misery like loves company. If you're going to complain a lot and then you're hanging around like, trying to get the support, but they're just like, they're all commiserating together. It's very difficult to rise up and out of that. You just are more of misery and complaining, you know.
Misery loves company. Frustrated, incorporated. Now sing
Oh my
that for the
God.
rest of the day.
I haven't heard that song in years. That's
And
funny.
also, you can like comment below and tell us your thoughts and stuff. I mean, that would be good too. We have want to have that community in the comments and stuff. And because, if you can't reach out to me, reach out to anyone else watching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, the whole topic of self-worth and deserving, it's a layered one. And but I hope our conversation today helped you think a little bit different, that if this is what you're experiencing, first of all, it is real. It's not in your head. Perhaps there is doctors you've been to like, oh, your blood work's coming back fine and all the things. And you're like, yeah, but I don't feel fine. We get that. That's actually, we're here to validate, yep, it's something feels off, and trust your gut on that, literally and figuratively. And yeah, and that it's maybe this is an opportunity to just shift a little bit in your thinking of how you're treating your body. And does menopause have to be doom and gloom and terrible? Or can it be an opportunity for you to come back to yourself and pay better attention to yourself? The attention you've wanted probably your whole life, maybe even chased from others. But perhaps this is the chance for you to give the attention to yourself. And that is what is truly healing. Giving it to yourself, advocating it for yourself, paying attention to yourself, putting yourself first without feeling like you've got to defend that. And it's not selfish, it's self-care. And we're talking above and beyond the massages and the pedicures. No, right, Mandy? Self-care.
Yes.
Yeah. Self-care is boundaries. Self-care is saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Self-care is no ice cream at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I keep
And
bringing that up because it was one of my things. I kept on
yeah.
doing that to myself because I would say like, "Oh fuck it, I want ice cream. I behaved, I was good all day. I'm gonna get ice cream." Why did I do, knowing damn well what was going to occur afterwards? Like,
And you do
why?
it anyway.
Why
I
did I
know.
do that?
You know. I
Yeah,
know.
but now I know why I did it. But yeah,
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
do that shit no more.
No. So thank you for being here. Comment below. We love to hear feedback from our community, other women in our lives that touch our lives, whether it's in person or online. Some of the best relationships I've created over the years have been online first. So thank you for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe. And if there's any other topics you want Mandy and I to cover, please also comment below. We are happy to give our 2 cents, aren't we?
Love it. I'd love to give my 2 cents.
Okay, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.